There's no sport like it because you are trusting your dogs. I can't explain that in words.
It's like living, breathing, moving art.
You know when you know what your dog's thinking, but they can't talk? That's something special.
This is my story, a story about a journey into the world of sprint sled dogs, which is far bigger and far more exciting than I could have ever dreamed of. From South America to Australia, to England and Europe, and all over North America, people from all walks of life are discovering that they can race dogs on dirt, on snow, in small teams of 1 to 2 dogs, large teams of 8 to 14 dogs. People are racing locally in their clubs, and they're working to get all the way to the World Championship.
We don't know really what the maximum speed these guys can maintain. Records are being broken all the time.
By playing, training, and competing together, dogs and their human companions form an incredible bond.
What binds people together, and also what binds people and dogs together, is actually shared experiences.
No matter what you do, they love you anyway. They're always so happy, and we need that.
I got into dog-powered sports when I saw my neighbor, Michael Wason, being pulled by 3 wire-haired pointers on snow, and I thought, I definitely want to do that. I thought I needed a great sled dog, one that was good in the snow and loved to pull. So like most people, I knew the Iditarod, and I knew what dogs looked like in the Iditarod. They look amazing, strong and beautiful and furry and Siberian-like. So I went on the internet and looked for the most beautiful Siberian Husky I could find, and that's how I got Misty. My dream was to get into this sport, work really, really hard, train Misty to the best of her abilities, and with her desire and my goals to become world champions. I read in books how humbling and magical it was to have the experience where the dog you trained pulled you really fast down the trail. And I wanted that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hike up, let's go.
It's a really tough moment when you have hopes and dreams and you're in this sport and you realize your dog's not that into it. You didn't get the right dog.
Hike up. No, that's the wrong way. Let's go.
And I was pretty frustrated. I'd already committed a couple years to this project. And I asked everybody, hey, who has the fastest dogs? And an Iditarod musher, who's a neighbor friend of mine, actually sent me a Facebook message. And he said, simply, Egil Ellis has the fastest sled dogs in the world.
My name is Egil Ellis. I'm 45 and I'm from Sweden, racing for Team USA.
Until recently, Egil lived in Alaska, where he dominated the race circuit for over 15 years.
I've been racing dogs since I was 15 years old. It was my dad who introduced me to it. My brother and I got a husky puppy each for Christmas in '82. 91, I think, was the last year I raced Siberians. And I started looking at other dogs, faster dogs.
Egil had enormous success with a dog that's currently known as a Eurohound. It's a cross between an Alaskan Husky and a German Shorthair Pointer. The Eurohound is known for its sustained speeds and is widely popular all throughout the world in race circuits. Egil bred them specifically for open class races. These are the longest races in sprint mushing, with the biggest dog teams.
The dogs are usually a bit smaller in open class, just because there's more dogs, they don't have to pull so much.
It was through meeting Egil that I really learned what a proper dog yard is really all about. When you think about the 365-day part of dog care, making sure that every athlete on your team has exactly what they need to be healthy and successful.
You need to have a proper yard, you have to have a proper housing for them. You doesn't have to love scooping poop, but you have to do it. You cannot leave it.
If you're good at it, you could read a dog and you can understand a dog just by looking at it. They can't talk, but they have a perfectly understandable body language.
That because he doesn't sell puppies, they've all trained with his team for a year, and they are ripped. When he lived in Alaska, Egil had a special wheel for the low-impact aerobic conditioning of his dogs. Then they moved to a four-wheeler, where the dogs learned to pull and work super hard as a team.
Training shouldn't always be perfect. It should be about making mistakes at home, so you don't have to do it at a race.
Underneath the breeding and the training and nutrition and strength building and all of that, there's a much deeper level where success really comes from. And that's the trust building. It's a connection that the mushers have with their dogs. When these dogs are trained well, the athletic performance they're capable of is hard for us as humans to even imagine. Dr. Arlie Reynolds is a world champion open class racer and the Associate Dean, Department of Veterinary Medicine at the University of Alaska, Fairbanks.
You know, the VO2 max of these guys are incredible. The VO2 max is a thing that we measure as exercise physiologists. It sort of tells us the size of the motor, okay? So it's the maximum amount of oxygen that can be processed by the body per unit time per unit body weight. So we usually put it in mils per kilogram body weight per minute, okay? The highest one measured in a human was in Bjorn Dali, the cross-country skier. His was 92. I put my dogs on a treadmill and use the same type of system they use to measure human athletes. And dogs like my main leader will have a VO2 max around 240 mils per kilogram per minute, or about 3 times higher than the greatest one ever measured in a human being. Most college endurance athletes are in the 60s. Lance Armstrong was in the mid-80s. So 240 is really off the charts.
In 2011, I bought a dog named Quinn from Egil Ellis. And then in 2012, I asked Egil for a second dog so I could have a 2-dog team.
Yeah? I know, this has got to be so weird. You just left the kennel you've lived at for 2 years and 7 months. And you're a pretty good boy, except you're having fun dominating right now, aren't you? And Misty, you're just sexy. Straight up gorgeous. That's all there is to it.
Poppy loved running with Quinny, and in fact, Poppy's the kind of dog who would look over at Quinn while they're racing and like almost say something in his ear, like, let's go faster, let's go faster. Training runs all of a sudden became bliss. And it was incredible I thought I had Ferraris. I knew I had Ferraris. I could see them. They were working so well together. We had an awesome season and we're nearly undefeated leading up to the World Championship. So we were delighted. Of course, I was still learning how to skate ski was really hard. That is not the way to finish. Go ahead, boys, come on.
Now we're getting into it. And so if you guys ever get into ski dog sports, you gotta make it fun for the dogs. Like this for them is so much fun, and we just encourage it. We want them to have fun.
So we went into Alaska for the 2013 World Championship pretty excited. One of my mentors, who was a previous medalist, took me aside and said, you have a chance at the podium in the 2-dog race. And so I went in that race really gunning for top 3 and knowing that I was gonna have to go up against the best in the world. But I thought, hey, I've got the fastest dogs in the world. We have a chance. We entered every single event, all 5 Nordic events. Things didn't really go as well as I had hoped. In our very first World Championship race, Quinny and Poppy and I were passed 3 times. We saw amazing skiers with amazing dogs blow right by us. We had been dominating our races. We weren't used to getting passed, and these guys were averaging 22 miles per hour over 6 miles. I also learned something new about my dogs. Yes, they are absolutely the fastest dogs in the world at open class racing that Egil does, which are those longer 24-mile races. And what I discovered is that the Europeans breed their own specialized dogs just for skijoring and short sprint races. We couldn't compete with the Europeans. And that after all that, I got the wrong dogs again. But when I reflected on that year and thought, well, should I keep training? Should I keep trying to become better? I realized I had made so many mistakes getting into the sport. The dream to be the best had been replaced by this goal of sharing what the best already know.
Learning in Norway, learning.
One of the people I was really intent on getting to know was the breeder who was responsible for a lot of the dogs that people are really successful with. A woman from Norway named Lena Boysen-Hillestead.
When I was very, very little, like 5 years, my parents they asked me if I wanted a sister or brother or a dog. What a stupid question for a 5-year-old. So I'm the only child and I'm really into this sport. On my first race, I was this big.
She has 23 World Championship gold medals, which is more than anyone else alive.
It's very popular to say, have fun, but it's really important too. So if you're not happy around them, they will notice at once. And dogs are like that.
Like most people in Norway, Lena grew up with the German Shorthair Pointer, which is a really fast and strong hunting dog that can pull straight ahead. She thought it was possible to mix Greyhound with the dogs that they're already using in Norway.
Mixing Greyhound and GSP was probably just the idea of having a faster dog in the beginning.
Today, people call these dogs Greysters.
The Greyhounds, they have longer back, longer legs, and a very nice way of running. As you can see on the Greyhound buses, that's the way they run actually. In addition to having the speed, it was their mind. They were more soft than a GSP, more calm to have inside the house. Just like family members.
Her dogs are specifically for that shorter distance where they can maintain extremely high speeds for 4 to 6 miles. So the question is, why doesn't everyone use Greysters? And so what it really comes down to is, what type of race do you want to be doing? Whether it's Canicross or Skijoring or mid-distance racing or distance racing like the Iditarod. There are very fast Siberian Huskies, there are very fast Greysters and Eurohounds and Alaskan Huskies. And ultimately, it's not just about speed.
And that is also why it's important to pick a puppy that you really love from the first sight, from your stomach feeling, instead of measuring and taking the one that's supposed to be very good. So I think you can achieve a lot more with a dog you really love and like.
Every musher I met had meaningful relationships with their dogs. But there's one musher who really stood out to me, who really touched me in a whole different way. And that's Swedish-born musher, Tina Terrace.
What would my life be otherwise? I don't know, maybe I would be dead. Because I was so depressed after my accident, I don't know, but they saved my life.
Tina had to stop racing her dogs and stop keeping dogs after breaking her back at a racing event.
There's no handicapped person that is exactly like the other handicapped person. You can have high or low spinal cord injury or MS or whatever, or amputated or everything like that. So you have to custom make your way how to adapt it to you. Of course, this is a little bit more difficult if you have lots of snow. I had to stop having dogs and start my rehabilitation. Then I was trying to find some other kind of activities to do, like wheelchair racing. But there was nothing that was as fulfilling as the sled dog sport had been, and having dogs, training dogs. I was very depressed, but I had a dear musher friend, Jan Svensson, who had a puppy, and he thought, okay, I give this puppy to you, and I hope that you start taking care of this puppy and stop being so depressed. I soon realized that he could pull my wheelchair. I called him Kul, and that means fun. He was my dog back to life again. The dogs are everything for me. I have built my life around them.
Tina has hacked her equipment so she can train her dogs year-round in Sweden.
When you have your accident, your life changes so drastically. You get in terms with your handicap, but it's still not you. You are not a handicapped person inside. like to make goals that are impossible and try to get there. Then if I don't make it, it's not the whole world, but at least I had tried. When you go out to the woods with the dogs, it's like you never have had an accident. You're back in the woods on the trail, and it's a chilling moment when you first realize, okay, I can still do that. So that's, yeah, it's a wonderful feeling.
So I went to the 2015 Winter World Championships in Germany and the 2015 Dryland World Championships in Canada. Not so much to race. I really went to learn as much as I could, to talk to the best of the best, to spend a lot of time in conversation figuring out what it is that makes them successful.
Use your dog's strength, use your dog's interests, what he loves, and have fun with him.
My advice is to have fun, work hard with the dogs, be patient, keep you and the dog healthy, and give the dogs a lot of love.
It's a way of living. Of course, we love our dogs, and yeah, they are family members.
Choose really good lines, good dogs, because once you have a dog, you keep him for life.
When you're running a race, your dogs, they don't know if you come first or you come last. They just want to have a good run, right?
Yeah, as long as you come back smiling, you know, it's a good run. I think the smaller classes are really getting big worldwide, you know, the 1 and 2 dog and the Canicross and bike journeying especially.
I was so bored going alone and running all by myself. And running with a dog just makes it so much more fun.
There is still so much to share, and our goal is to build a dog-loving community of people who can share that information more freely, because we want the people getting in the sport to have the best success they can. It isn't like buying a mountain bike and then putting it in the garage. This is a living, breathing soul.
You know, I think we're hardwired really to be with dogs. No matter what level you do it, whether you're a recreational person or you're trying to win a big, important race. Dog mushing is such a wonderful thing that is such an important part of life. I am in awe of the relationship between people and dogs. I think that when that is done properly, it makes us both the best we can be.
Ha 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 ha!